Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have you noticed that whenever the US announces new tariffs, whether it's on China, Europe, or others, stock markets start tanking? And right after that, the bond and currency markets go haywire too. How can one tariff policy cause a triple meltdown across stocks, bonds, and currencies? Today, we're breaking down exactly how this works. How does a single tariff announcement trigger a chain reaction across global markets? Where does Taiwan fit in this financial storm? And most importantly, how should we as investors deal with this kind of policy-driven risk? Let's get into it. When people hear tariff, they usually think, oh, so stuff just gets more expensive. Like an iPhone might cost $200 more or something. But in today's tightly linked global supply chains, tariffs aren't just trade tools. They become financial weapons. The moment the US announces new tariffs, first, companies get spooked. Imports get pricier, raw materials get limited, and margins shrink. Then, investors panic and start dumping stocks. After the bond market shakes, currencies start swinging, and it's like tossing a giant rock into a still pond. Ripples everywhere. Let's walk through this visually. One, the US slaps tariffs on another country. Point two, that raises costs for businesses, making future profits look worse, and stocks fall. Point three, investors shift money into safer places like short-term bonds or just hold cash and bond prices. Move, yields swing wildly. Point four, that the US dollar strengthens as money rushes back to the US. Emerging markets lose capital, and currencies like the yuan and Taiwan dollar start to drop. This isn't just theory. This chain of events is repeated over and over again in real-world market history. Now let's rewind to one of the most dramatic examples. The 2018 US-China trade war. In March that year, Trump announced tariffs on Chinese steel and aluminum. First, Wall Street freaked out. The Dow dropped 700 points in a day. Then, the Chinese yuan started dropping. Influences Asian stock markets turned red across the board. Last, bond yields swung like a roller coaster. And this didn't happen just once. Every time talks broke down or tariffs were escalated, markets went into collective panic mode again. Taiwan, unfortunately, can't stay out of this. In fact, we might be one of the most vulnerable. Here's why. 1. Taiwan's economy is export-driven. If the US and China fight, global demand drops, and we get hit. Point 2, our supply chains are deeply tied to China, especially in semiconductors and electronics. If China takes a hit, we feel it instantly. Point 3, foreign investors hold a huge portion of Taiwan's stock market. When the Taiwan dollar weakens, capital flows out fast, and the stock market tanks. That's why every time a trade war heats up, Taiwan's opening bell rings, and the market opens red. Not a coincidence. Let's talk currencies for a second. When the US drops tariffs on China, China sometimes lets the yuan devalue to make up for the added costs. But when the yuan drops, other Asian currencies follow, just to stay competitive. This leads to the Taiwan dollar weakening. And Taiwan central bank being forced to step in. After that, foreign investors reassessing currency risk and possibly pulling out faster than you can react. In short, currency becomes the second battlefield, and we often have no choice but to react. As regular investors, we can't control these policies, but we can manage how we respond. Here are a few tips. 1. Watch US bond yields. They're often the first warning signal. Point 2. Follow the US dollar index. A strong dollar usually means more pain for risk assets. Point 3. Keep more cash and reduce high volatility positions. Point 4. Diversify globally. Don't bet everything on one market. Point 5. Consider hedging tools like gold or US dollar denominated assets. With this kind of policy-driven volatility, sometimes speed matters more than deep analysis. Let's recap. Tariffs aren't just about goods anymore. They're market-moving weapons that can take down stocks, bonds, and currencies all at once. Taiwan, due to its economic structure, is especially sensitive to these kinds of shocks. When the US uses tariffs as leverage, investors worldwide need to rethink asset allocation. And quickly, that's why it's no longer enough to just look at your local market. In today's world, you need a global view to survive and thrive. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more clear, down-to-earth finance content. Drop a comment below. Are you most focused on stocks, bonds, or currencies right now? Let me know, and maybe I'll make the next video just for you. Catch you next time. Peace.